Nucor is a high-quality steel producer, but it is still a cyclical steel stock. Historically, Nucor has created value through a very disciplined model: electric arc furnace production, a variable cost structure, strong balance sheet discipline, and a long culture of returning capital to shareholders. That is why the long-term value line has moved materially higher over time. But the chart also shows the key lesson: steel earnings are never smooth. From 2005 through the mid-2010s, Nucor moved through normal industrial cycles. Demand, steel prices, scrap costs, imports, construction activity, automotive demand, and energy markets all affected the stock. The company was strong, but the market did not pay a permanent premium because earnings were clearly cyclical. The big historical success came after 2020. U.S. steel pricing improved, supply chains tightened, imports became less aggressive, and Nucor benefited from prior investments. Earnings power jumped, and the stock moved from a long-term value range into a much higher zone. That was not only luck. Nucor had invested through the cycle, expanded downstream products, strengthened sheet and plate capacity, and kept the balance sheet strong. But the historical mistake investors often make with Nucor is extrapolating peak cycle earnings. When steel margins are high, EPS can explode and the stock can look statistically cheap. But if those earnings are cyclical, a low PE can be misleading. The chart shows this clearly. The price reached very high levels around 2022 to 2024, then corrected as investors questioned how durable the profit cycle would be. Now to the present. With the stock around $223, Nucor is close to the recent high zone again. The market is clearly more optimistic than it was during the 2025 pullback. Q1 2026 results support that optimism, with revenue and EPS rebounding strongly as steel mills performed better and shipments improved. Looking forward, the estimates area suggests more upside in the fair value path, but this is not a simple compounder story. For the stock to keep working, Nucor needs strong steel demand, disciplined imports, infrastructure and construction activity, and good execution on growth investments. Nucor is a best-in-class steel company, but the current price already reflects a meaningful recovery. The upside depends on whether this is the start of a new earnings cycle, not just a short-term steel price rebound. Let's go straight into the risks, because with Nucor the main risk is not business quality. Nucor is one of the strongest operators in the steel industry. The real risk is the cycle. The first major risk is steel pricing. When steel prices are strong, Nucor's earnings can rise very quickly. But when pricing weakens, margins can compress just as fast. Steel is a commodity-driven industry, and even a best-in-class producer cannot fully escape lower realized prices. The second risk is demand. Nucor sells into construction, infrastructure, automotive, manufacturing, energy, and industrial markets. If non-residential construction slows, if manufacturing activity weakens, or if customers delay projects, volumes can come under pressure. That matters because operating leverage works both ways. Another risk is imports. Nucor has benefited from a more favorable U.S. trade environment, and management has pointed to trade policy as one of the factors supporting the market. But if import pressure rises again, or if trade protections become less effective, domestic steel pricing can weaken. Raw material volatility is also important. Nucor uses electric arc furnaces and is heavily tied to scrap markets. That model gives flexibility, but scrap costs can still move sharply. If input costs rise while steel prices soften, margins can be squeezed. There is also valuation risk. After a strong rebound, the stock is no longer priced like a distressed cyclical. If investors are paying for a recovery, then earnings need to keep improving. If Q1 proves to be a strong quarter rather than the beginning of a durable upcycle, the multiple can compress. Capital allocation is another watch item. Nucor is investing heavily in growth projects, downstream capabilities, and cleaner steel production. These investments can create value, but only if demand materializes and returns stay attractive. Nucor's risks are cyclical, not structural. The company is strong, but investors must avoid treating peak cycle earnings as if they were permanent. Now the opportunity side, and this is where Nucor remains one of the most interesting steel names. The company is cyclical, but it is also structurally stronger than many traditional steel producers. In the short term, the biggest opportunity is the earnings recovery. Q1 2026 showed a clear improvement, with revenue rising to $9.5 billion and EPS increasing to $3.23. That kind of rebound matters because it suggests better realized prices, stronger shipments, and improved steel mill performance. Second, Nucor can benefit from domestic industrial investment. Infrastructure spending, reshoring, manufacturing projects, energy infrastructure, data centers, and non-residential construction all require steel. If U.S. demand remains firm, Nucor's broad product portfolio gives it multiple ways to participate. Another opportunity is trade support. If imports remain disciplined and domestic supply-demand stays balanced, pricing can remain healthier for longer. That would support margins and make the current earnings recovery more durable. Long-term, Nucor's electric arc furnace model is a major advantage. The company is already positioned around recycled scrap, lower carbon production, and flexible steelmaking. Nucor describes itself as North America's largest and most diversified steel and steel products manufacturer and highlights its circular steelmaking model based on recycled scrap. Downstream expansion is another major lever. Nucor is not only selling commodity steel. It has built a larger portfolio of fabricated products, joists, decking, rebar, beams, plate, sheet, and value-added steel products that can make earnings more resilient than a pure commodity producer. Capital returns also matter. Nucor has historically used dividends and buybacks to return cash through the cycle. If free cash flow improves after a heavy investment period, shareholders could benefit from stronger capital returns. The upside framework is simple. Steel demand remains solid, imports stay controlled, growth investments ramp, and Nucor converts its scale into durable free cash flow. If that happens, the current price can still be justified despite the strong rebound. The analyst rating picture for Nucor is clearly constructive. We have 2 strong buy ratings, 9 buy ratings, and only 3 hold ratings. There is 1 sell rating but no strong sell. That tells us analysts are generally positive on the company, even after the stock's strong recovery. To me, this rating mix fits the current setup. Nucor is not just an average steel producer. It has scale, a strong balance sheet, electric arc furnace flexibility, a broad product portfolio, and a strong capital return culture. That is why the market is willing to give it more credit than a weaker cyclical steel name. But the single sell rating and the remaining hold ratings also matter. The concern is timing. Steel stocks can look very attractive when earnings are recovering, but investors must be careful not to pay too much for cyclical upside. If steel pricing weakens or demand slows, earnings expectations can move lower quickly. The bullish case is that Nucor is entering a stronger earnings phase supported by domestic demand, infrastructure, reshoring, trade policy, and past capital investments. The cautious case is that the stock already discounts a lot of that improvement. Analyst sentiment is positive, but the key question is durability. Nucor is a best-in-class operator, but the stock needs the steel cycle to stay favorable for today's valuation to keep working.